Our family secret stayed buried for 20 years. Until the funeral. I'll never forget the sound of my sister's voice when she accused me of stealing our mother's necklace at the funeral reception. You always were the greedy one, Sarah. Rebecca's words cut through the murmur of mourners like a knife through silk. Every head turned toward us. My face burned as 200 pairs of eyes landed on me. The daughter who'd supposedly robbed her own dying mother. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was that I'd spent the last 3 months caring for Mom around the clock, while Rebecca lived her perfect life 2 states away. The worst part was the suspicious bruises I'd noticed on Mom's arms during her final weeks. The worst part was what I'd found hidden in her Bible the morning she died. And what my sister said next changed everything. I have proof, Rebecca announced, pulling out her phone. Mom's nurse documented everything. My stomach dropped. What nurse? I'd been Mom's only caregiver. Let me back up to where this nightmare really began. 3 months before Mom's funeral, I'd gotten the call every daughter dreads. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months at most. Mom refused hospice, refused to leave her home, and that left only one option: me. I just lost my job as a financial analyst when the company downsized, so the timing seemed almost providential. I moved into Mom's spare room with 2 suitcases and a breaking heart, ready to give her the dignified end she deserved. Rebecca called once that first week. I wish I could be there, Sarah, I really do. But with the twins starting high school and Derek's promotion. You understand, right? You're so much better at this caregiving stuff anyway. I understood, all right. I understood that I'd always been the one who showed up. The first month was hard but manageable. Mom could still walk, still laugh at our old stories, still beat me at gin rummy even when the morphine made her drowsy. We talked about everything. Her childhood, her marriage to Dad, her regrets. But she never mentioned Rebecca. Not once. When I brought up my sister, Mom would change the subject or suddenly need to rest. It gnawed at me, that deliberate silence, but I told myself it was the medication, the pain, the fog of approaching death. Then the bruises appeared. I first noticed them on a Tuesday morning while helping Mom bathe. Dark purple marks on her upper arms, perfectly round like fingerprints. 4 on each side. Mom, where did these come from? I asked gently, my nursing training from years ago kicking in. She pulled away, covering herself with the towel. I bumped into the door frame. You know how clumsy I've gotten. But door frames don't leave fingerprint-shaped bruises. I checked her arms every day after that. New bruises appeared on her wrists. Then her shoulders. Always when I'd been out getting groceries or picking up prescriptions. Always in places that suggested someone had grabbed her, held her. Mom, is someone coming here when I'm gone? I asked one afternoon, my heart hammering. Is someone hurting you? Her eyes filled with tears, but she shook her head. Please, Sarah. Don't ask me about this. Some secrets are meant to stay buried. That phrase. Some secrets are meant to stay buried. She said it 3 more times over the next 2 weeks. Always when I pressed about the bruises. And then I found the letters. Mom died on a Wednesday morning, peacefully in her sleep. I'd crawled into bed beside her at dawn after a long night of labored breathing, holding her hand, singing the lullaby she used to sing to me. When I woke 2 hours later, she was gone. I called Rebecca first. She'd sobbed on the phone, said she'd booked the next flight, asked if I could handle the funeral arrangements. Course I could. I always handled everything. While waiting for the funeral home, I'd started gathering Mom's important documents. That's when I found it, tucked inside her old leather Bible. A stack of letters, rubber-banded together, addressed to Rebecca. Unopened. All of them. Postmarked over the last 15 years. My hands shook as I pulled the rubber band free. I knew I shouldn't read them, knew it was a violation, but something in my gut screamed that these letters mattered. The first one made my blood run cold. Rebecca, I'm begging you to stop. Whatever I did to make you hate me, I'm sorry. But taking money from my account, forging my signature, lying to Sarah about where you are. This has to end. You're my daughter. Love you. But I can't let you destroy our family. If you don't return what you've stolen, I'll have no choice but to go to the police. My mother's handwriting, shaky but unmistakable, dated 8 years ago. The second letter was worse. The bank called again. You've taken nearly $200,000 now. Money I saved for both you and Sarah for your futures. Every time you visit, something else goes missing. And what? Grandma's ring. My coin collection. I can't prove it's you, but I know. Sarah thinks I'm losing my memory, misplacing things. I've let her believe that because the truth would break her heart. But you need to stop, Rebecca. This has to stop. There were 17 letters total. Each one documenting years of theft, manipulation, and betrayal. The last letter, dated 2 months before Mom's diagnosis, contained a single devastating line. I've changed my will. Sarah gets everything. You get nothing. Maybe that will finally make you understand what you've done. I sat on Mom's bedroom floor, surrounded by evidence of a betrayal so massive, so calculated, I could barely breathe. My perfect sister, with her perfect house and perfect family, had been systematically robbing our mother for over a decade. And the bruises. God, the bruises. Rebecca had been coming to the house. When I was out, pressuring Mom. Maybe worse than pressuring. I called the bank immediately. After verifying my power of attorney, they pulled up Mom's accounts. In the last 3 months alone, someone had attempted to transfer $50,000 to an external account. The requests had been flagged as suspicious and denied. The requests came from Mom's computer. But Mom couldn't even use email without help. Someone else had access to this house. When was the last time your mother gave anyone else a key? The bank investigator asked over the phone. Never, I said. Just me and wait. Rebecca had visited once, 6 months before Mom's diagnosis. A surprise weekend trip, she'd called it. Mom had been thrilled. They'd spent hours alone together while I was at work. That's when the bruises had first appeared. That's when Mom had changed the locks for no reason, and made me promise never to give Rebecca the new key. I'd thought Mom was being paranoid, confused. She'd been protecting me from the truth. The investigator's next words made my knees buckle. Mrs. Chen, I need to inform you that we've been monitoring your mother's accounts for suspected elder abuse. We have security footage from 3 months ago showing a woman matching your sister's description at an ATM, using your mother's card. But Rebecca was supposed to be in Arizona. That's what she'd told me. The funeral was packed. Mom had been beloved in her community, and it seemed like everyone from her church, her book club, her volunteer groups had come to pay respects. Rebecca arrived in black designer clothes, her tears perfect and photogenic. She hugged me, whispered how grateful she was that I'd been there for Mom, how guilty she felt for not visiting more. I said nothing. I had the letters in my purse, waiting. At the reception, held at Mom's house, I watched Rebecca move through the rooms with an intimacy that made my skin crawl. She knew where things were. She opened cabinets without asking. She'd been here far more recently than she'd admitted. Then she made her move. Has anyone seen Mom's sapphire necklace? Rebecca asked loudly, addressing the room. The one Dad gave her for their anniversary. It's worth over $10,000. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I felt everyone's attention shift toward me, the daughter who'd been alone with Mom, who'd had access to everything. I'm sure it's somewhere safe, I said carefully. I'm sure it is, Rebecca said, her voice dripping with implication. Sarah, can I talk to you privately? We stepped into Mom's bedroom. Rebecca closed the door. Where is it? She demanded, her perfect mask slipping. Where's the necklace? Where's Grandma's ring? Where's the coin collection? You mean the things you stole over the last 15 years? Her face went white, then red. Then something cold and calculated settled over her features. You can't prove anything. I pulled the letters from my purse. Actually, I can. What happened next was like watching a building collapse in slow motion. Rebecca lunged for the letters. I stepped back. She screamed that I'd forged them, that I was the thief, that I'd manipulated our dying mother and stolen her money. I have proof, she shouted, pulling out her phone. Mom's nurse documented everything. What nurse? I asked quietly. I was Mom's only caregiver. The night nurse. The one who... Rebecca stopped, realizing her mistake. There was no night nurse. But there was someone who'd been coming to the house at night. Someone who'd hired an accomplice to help her get what she wanted. The room had gone deadly silent. Other mourners had gathered in the doorway, drawn by the shouting. You hired someone to pretend to be a nurse, I said, the pieces clicking together. You needed a witness to claim I was abusing Mom, stealing from her. So when she died and you contested the will, you'd have testimony. Rebecca's silence was all the confirmation I needed. But I wasn't done. Here's what's going to happen, I said, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. You're going to leave. You're going to get on a plane back to Arizona. And you're never going to contact me again. Or what? Rebecca spat. You'll go to the police. With those fake letters. Please. No, I said. I'll release the security footage. Her face went gray. What security footage? The footage from the camera Mom had installed in her bedroom 3 months ago. The hidden one behind the smoke detector. The one that recorded you searching through her drawers. Grabbing her arms. Threatening her when she refused to give you the passwords to her accounts. I'd found the camera that morning along with a note in Mom's handwriting. If anything happens to me, give this to the police. And protect your sister. Not from justice, but from herself. Even at the end, even after everything, Mom had wanted to protect Rebecca. But I wasn't Mom. Rebecca left within the hour. The mourners dispersed quietly, some offering me sympathetic touches on the shoulder, others avoiding my eyes entirely. The truth about our family's golden child had been ugly to witness. I turned the security footage over to the police that evening, along with the bank records and Mom's letters. The investigation took 3 months, but eventually, Rebecca was charged with elder abuse, attempted fraud, and theft. She took a plea deal that included restitution and probation. Derek divorced her. The twins came to stay with me that summer, angry at first, then gradually understanding that their mother's problems ran deeper than anyone had realized. Going through Mom's things, I found one final letter. This one was addressed to me. Sarah, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you the truth while I was alive. I kept hoping Rebecca would change, that she'd remember who she used to be before the money and status consumed her. I was wrong. But I want you to know something. Those bruises you noticed. They weren't from Rebecca hurting me physically. They were from me fighting her off when she tried to force me to sign documents, to give her access to my accounts. I was stronger than she thought. And so are you. You've always been the strong one, Sarah. The honest one. The one who shows up. Don't let her betrayal make you bitter. Some people are broken in ways we can't fix. But you were exactly who I needed at the end. Thank you for loving me enough to stay. Thank you for being brave enough to uncover the truth. And please, when you're ready, forgive your sister. Not for her sake, but for yours. The best revenge is living a life free from the burden of hate. I love you, my Sarah. You were always my treasure. I still live in Mom's house. I've turned her bedroom into an office where I run a consulting business helping families navigate elder care and financial protection. The twins visit during school breaks. We play gin rummy on the porch, and I teach them the songs Mom taught me. Rebecca sends emails sometimes. I don't respond, but I don't delete them either. Maybe someday I'll be ready. Maybe not. Mom was right about one thing. Forgiveness is a journey, and I'm not there yet. But I've learned something crucial through all of this. Trust your instincts. When something feels wrong, it probably is. Those bruises, Mom's silence, the way Rebecca always had an excuse not to visit, it all added up to a truth I didn't want to see. Family secrets have a way of poisoning everything they touch. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is drag them into the light, no matter how much it hurts, no matter who it destroys. Because the truth is the only thing that sets anyone free. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever faced betrayal from someone you trusted, I hope you'll share your experience. Sometimes knowing we're not alone is the first step toward healing. And if you found value in hearing my story, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it too. The secrets we keep to protect others often end up protecting the wrong people. Mom learned that lesson too late. I'm determined not to make the same mistake. Some secrets deserve to stay buried. But the ones that hurt the innocent, those need to see the light of day.